oh my gosh, I want one. So I'm unfortunately not in the market for a car because I don't drive that much anymore. And my wife already has a Model Y, which we're still making payments on. So no, I won't be getting the new Model 3 Highland, but I want one. Okay. So the big news last night was the introduction of the long-awaited Model 3 Highland. There isn't a doubt in my mind that this is going to be by far the best value vehicle that has ever been put on the road. The improvements in styling, efficiency, noise, interior, creature comforts, absolutely stunning. This should definitely sell out for years in the future. There should be a bump in the market, but guess what? There's not, because there was other Tesla bad news out there that clearly was more immediate, something that you can absolutely put your hands around and know for sure is affecting business today. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, let's see here. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. As you know, tomorrow morning we've got Larry Goldberg on. We'll be analyzing what happens with Cathie Woods' analysis tonight. We will also have tomorrow, we've got Brian Wang coming on, and that might actually be later today. Breaking news is possibly going to get in the way of the Brian Wang thing, which might be breaking news if he says it's really, really shocking news. So watch out for that one either today or tomorrow. So anyway, hit notify for all of that. And then, of course, there's also the Patreon. And in a few minutes, I'll be telling you about this, which might be a way for you to end up finally getting to be a member of Patreon. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, if I just said, of course, if I were in a market for a car, I would be buying this car. It is a major home run for Tesla. It's evidence of their insight into the consumer. That's what I want to talk about. We'll talk about all of the specs here too. So the Model 3 has a list of improvements. I don't think I've ever seen a list of improvements like this on any car ever. This is this is not a minor refresh, Warren. This is a completely new car. It's unbelievable. In the interest of being complete, I'm going to read the entire list here of what we know. I think there's even more things that are not on this list because the list was just growing and growing and growing. So anyway, let me just start by saying, look, I've always thought about our Model Y, and I haven't been in a Model 3. I'm just assuming the Model 3 is the same. Is that for a luxury car that was costing as much as it wasn't quite up to what some of the luxury car experience folks. I mean, I've owned Jaguars, I've owned Cadillacs, I've owned luxury cars. This just wasn't quite there, okay, in that regard. Now, everything else about it was space age and incredible, and you never want to drive another ICE car in your life. But they've solved, apparently, again, this is based on, you listen to the list, you decide. A 30% decrease in wind and ambient noise, a 25% improvement in impact noise, meaning the way the streets are, the tires are dealing with the road, and a 20% improvement in road noise. That would be the noise that the tires are making as they spin. Acoustic glass on rear windows and back window. They only had it on the front windows before. So it's they call it 360 degree acoustic glass. More sound insulation for a quieter ride. Uptick in the hood, a little change in the hood to let wind go over more quietly. And upgraded suspension for a more premium ride. New springs and dampers. New geometry on the front suspension. New bushings. And a new way that they mount the subframe to the chassis. All of those designed to give you a quieter and softer, more luxurious ride. And also, these tires have been designed specifically for the Model 3, and they're designed also to give a cushioned and more improved ride. Then they did something which I'm sure a lot of you are going to get, okay, that's a good thing. The way it was set up before, when you turned on the air conditioning, if your passenger wanted the air blowing on them and the driver didn't, you could not adjust that out. So now you've got that ability. You can just cut it off completely for the passenger or cut it off completely for the driver. You can have both on, both off, etc. So that was huge. These are very good little improvements, things that I would have absolutely, if somebody gave me a list, I would have put these on the list. This is part of the whole thing with the whole X experience and the fact that Elon is on there and asking for these kinds of, they're asking, what would you like to change? These are things that Elon and the Tesla X account, they ask these questions. Again, you just don't have this with any other car maker. The range has an increase of about 12%. 50% of the parts in the car are new, half. So the car is, half of it is brand new. Redesigned interior with new door cards, more premium interior materials. The fabric is softer to the touch and sewn with a more refined process to present a better overall texture. 2 new colors, the ultra red and stealth gray. And these are deep colors. Depending on the way the sun hits it and the way you're looking at it and the angles and everything, you get these different looks. No more stalks. Now, some people aren't going to like this, but there's no stalks, right or left. The new steering wheel contains the turn signals, the light controls, the horn, the new camera button, wiper controls, and mic controls. But another thing that I really like is the horn. You got a big old horn right in the middle. You can find it, you can slap it, you can bang it. This is huge. I think this is a very, very small but excellent change. The new dash comes with a textured woven material kind of on the front, kind of a fascia. That looks really, really nice. There's also a multicolor ambient LED interior lighting extended from the dash all the way to the rear seat doors, and you can control it from the dash. You can make it, you can have it on or off, or you can make it green or blue or red or yellow. You can change it depending on your mood. So this is a fun feature. Some people will hate it, so turn it off, okay? Other people will think it's just really, really cool. I think it's, for the very small amount of money, it probably costs a very, very good deal. An updated center control with real metal handles gives a more premium feel. The new module does look good. Anyway, it has a stiffer body, a more premium sounding door thunk. That's, believe me, I can tell you as I'm sure some of you have either owned or ridden in or driven luxury cars, there is something about that thunk that makes it feel more luxurious. A center touch screen is now brighter and has smaller bezels. Now that gives you more, of course, visible screen. Higher contrast and is more responsive. Same size though. More comfortable rear seats. Redesigned lower rear bumper. All seats are now perforated. And the front seats will have air coming through them. So these are going to be ventilated like the S and the X. This is huge. That's a very premium decision. No fog lights anymore. And has a little 8-inch touchscreen for the rear passengers in the back, and they can do their climate controls independent. They can enjoy entertainment there. You can connect 2 headsets at the same time to the rear screen. That's very, very, very cool. New Model 3 is the most aerodynamic Tesla ever. The drag coefficient is down to 0.219. 0.219, crazy number. Slimmer and sleeker headlight and taillight design. You can see that right away when you see the pictures. New speaker bar in the roof. There's a total of 17 speakers, up from 14 before on the more expensive version. Now has 2 subwoofers and 2 amplifiers. It's all way more punchy altogether, and then has a speaker bar in the roof. Okay, this apparently is going to be quite the sound system. A 65-watt USB charger in the center control. You can even charge your laptop. There you go. That's something I would have asked for. Improved Bluetooth. Upgraded microphones. Now there's one on each side of one for the passenger. So now these will make your phone calls better. Improved Wi-Fi connectivity. So you'll be able to be further away from your home or wherever you're connected to Wi-Fi when you're doing the updates. Two new wheel designs that will optimize battery life. A front bumper camera that will help with parking, I'm assuming. A new Tesla, no Tesla name badge on the back, but it says Tesla across the back. The car is 8% more efficient thanks to better aerodynamics, lighter than before by about 150 pounds. And they're working on a new Model 3 performance version that'll be coming out later. So this is now, this is how a more expensive, this is how it should feel. This is how, I mean, I don't know. We haven't done that yet. We haven't ridden in it, but it sounds like it's going to make this by far the best luxury car out there. And now it's getting down into the price points where it's really lower than any luxury car out there. So in China, it will be 12% more expensive than it was. In Australia, it will be 7.8% more expensive. In Germany, 2.4% up in price. And in France, 2.4 also. I'm assuming, therefore, most of Europe will be 2.4. Okay, now this, some of the news that's causing maybe the stock to not, well, the stock to be down this morning. They've reduced the price of FSD in the U.S. by $12,000 from to $12,000 from $15,000. Let me be clear. The FSD is now going to be $12,000 in the United States instead of the current $15,000. Now that's a big drop and no explanation. Really interested to hear what is the thinking about dropping the price of FSD. Okay, because the Model X now starts at under 80,000. So the Model X dropped the price yesterday. That could be impacting the stock, but it also makes the Model X at $79,990 eligible for the $7,500 federal EV tax credit. So now you can buy this Model X for $72,500. Are you ready for that? In Colorado, you got another $5,000 off, making it $67,500 for a Model X. That should probably increase the Model X sales. So let's see here. Construction, oh, this is good news, buried in all the rest of the news of today. So much news. Construction of Tesla's new Megapack factory was finally announced. It's going to start this month and expected to be ready to go to production starting in 9 months. Okay, now on the labor front, the other big news of the morning, which would have been the highlight, the headline news this morning, labor news came in absolutely Goldilocks all the way. Most calling this extremely bullish and all but ensuring no rate hikes for the rest of the year. Now, obviously, things could change between now and November, but it looks like we are done with rate hikes. And so the stock market and bond market are both responding to that this morning. There was a huge surge in workforce participation. This resulted in the headline number going to 3.8% unemployment from the 3.5. There's also a major adjustment down from July numbers. So while there was an increase of, I think, didn't write all these numbers down, about 177,000 increase for the month of August, you had a decrease in the numbers that were previously reported for July. And so the overall increase was really low. So that some people say, well, this could even be a recessionary, pointing to a recession when you combine the two. Other people said, no, this is fine. This is really in line. It also, I guess, we're talking about 6 million people now out of work that are theoretically looking for work, as opposed to 8 million roughly jobs that are out there being offered for them. There's what they call those who are strongly looking for work or have only been out of work for a short time. That number is still way smaller than the job openings. So that number is still very, very strong, showing a strong economy. There was a big drop in the number of truckers employed because of the yellow truck situation. Typically, those people would be picked up by other companies, and so you would expect that to bounce back very, very quickly. But there might have been some of those yellow truck drivers that decided to take a vacation for at least a month or two. But that would put some pressure on the trucking industry. So yields are down strongly. We're so close to the end. Let me go back. I'll look at the yields in general in a second to tell you what's happening specifically right this minute. But the yields on the 2-year and the 2-month were down this morning, whereas the 10-year was slightly up, causing that inversion to shrink. That would be extremely interesting in news, something extremely interesting to watch over the next days and weeks. So let's see, the street will, so the Highland news is huge. The street, you would think, could react quickly, but no, they're going to want to see some reviews. The Tesla had an unusual way of releasing this Model 3 Highland upgrade. They had 2 or 3 top YouTubers come in and do very sophisticated, very lovely, very positive, very warm reviews of the Tesla. Model 3, as opposed to having some big event. So there are those reviews out there, but they don't look like third-party disinterested reviews. So the street will be looking for those third-party disinterested reviews. They'll be looking to see what the numbers look like in terms of orders actually coming in over the next days or weeks. The Model 3 will start shipping in October. It looks as if they're going to load up the ships and send them to Europe and Australia. Well, to Europe at least first, maybe to Australia too. Because they're talking about Europe being able to get their cars as early as October. Also, a lot of talk about the fact that they must be very, very confident that they can ramp this quickly because they're already giving dates to people that are placing their orders. And it looks like England, unfortunately, right-hand drive folks are going to have to wait until 2024 to get their vehicles. And then the China numbers, theoretically, you would start to see the China people get their stuff in October, November, December. So anyway, huge news. Okay, I think what we need to do, I'm just saying this is going to have an impact, but it might take a couple of weeks to see the impact. And then we'll probably have the Cybertruck launch information between now and then. And so it might be hard to see how much impact the Highland is having on the stock when you've got the Cybertruck mixed in. But then again, we don't know. We might not have the Cybertruck by that time. Okay, let's take a look at the information. So believe it or not, Tesla is down $6.30 this morning. Now it's still at 251, so that's pretty strong, but down 6.30 even though the market is up. Market is not up that strongly. The NASDAQ is only up 5. The Dow is up strongly at up 155, S&P up 11. So anyway, as mentioned, the information that the street can get their teeth into, dropping prices on the Model X, dropping prices on the Model 3 inventory, dropping the price on the FSD, that was a big one. Those are things that the street is reacting to immediately, as opposed to Highland, which will take longer for them to react to. But there you have it. That's what the news is this morning on Tesla stock. You have the other Magnificent Seven are mostly up, but just barely. You've got the Cathie Woods stocks are all up this morning, mostly just barely also. Let's take a look now at the rest of the numbers. So the big one this morning is the 10-year is up slightly, but still under 4.2. It's at 4.171. So that I don't want to see that go over that 4.22 number. But the 2-month is now it's only down a little tiny bit. So, but the 2-year is down 0.008, only 8. Now it's changing. It's down 0.012 at 4.847. But the 10-year is going up even more. Anyway, as I sit here and watch, so you would think that the overall labor report would give this a stronger response. I'm a little bit surprised that the response isn't stronger. Let's see, we also have the other news, the oil, well, maybe that's part of it. The oil number is actually up very strongly this morning at $85.11. Not good. Gold is up. Again, 1967. Copper is up. I haven't looked at the commodities. No time to do all this. And then the dollar is down, and the crypto under 2,600 again. So anyway, lots and lots of news. All I can tell you right now is that the overall news is very good. The stock market is receiving it in a very unusual way. I will undoubtedly you'll have your Friday night regular news and finance report, my Good News Friday night report. I think it's going to be a very important one to see. So hit notify. You need to subscribe before you do that. If you haven't hit like yet, please hit like. And then let me tell you really, really, really quick, because I got to get this up. If you haven't got your site, if you haven't placed your order yet, lots and lots of people have. If you want your Cybertruck in your camo, make sure to let me know. Camo are just the regular stainless steel version. As you may have already heard, this is a bottle opener. So it is stainless steel, the same thickness stainless steel as you will have on your Cybertruck. It is got a magnet on the back, so designed to go on your refrigerator. These are $25 for U.S. Addresses. If you are not a U.S. address, add $20 for freight, so that makes it $45. You send that to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, or you can join Patreon at the $10 level. Now, if you join it on a test, you're gonna have to wait for the test to be over. But if you join it straight out, then on Monday when we start shipping, Tuesday when we start shipping this, you should get your you'll get your choice of one of those two, joining at the $10 level, but you need to join for an immediate as opposed to the test, or wait 7 extra days. And then, of course, you could still have the choice. You can have the audiobooks if you prefer, if you join at the $5 or $10 level. Okay, I got to get out of here and get this up. So it's been great. What a crazy, wild morning. It's been great talking to you.